joining today. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday evening, taking the time out from having dinners with your families or studying, whatever you were planning on doing this evening. I do really appreciate your time. And I know that throughout this call and conversation today, you will learn that it's not only me thanking you, but also the patients that you see on the screen right here that are thankful for people like you that are interested in getting involved a little bit more with Be the Match, and for also possibly becoming a life-saving donor for one of our patients that's currently searching. So I just wanted to share a little bit more about myself before I really get into all of the wonderful things that Be the Match does and how you can possibly help to save a life as well. So my name is Lauren Hero. I am the Senior Community Engagement Representative with the ICLA de Silva Foundation. Now, the ICLA de Silva Foundation is a direct branch off of the national organization Be the Match. And Be the Match ultimately finds life-saving blood, stem cell, and bone marrow matches for patients that suffer from diseases most commonly known: leukemia, lymphoma, sickle cell. Those are three of the most common diseases that can be treated and cured by a bone marrow transplant. And it's my job as a community engagement representative to create more awareness about the need for donors. And then specifically, because of the ICLA de Silva Foundation and ICLA's story, we really focus on adding diversity to the registry. So why do we need to diversify the registry? And I really like to share ICLA's story because it's patients like her still today that don't have matches out of 22 million donors on the registry. Ikla was diagnosed with leukemia when she was just 11 years old. And the De Silva family, they were living in Brazil at the time, and there wasn't much to offer her for the level of care she needed at the time. And the De Silva family decided to move to Roosevelt Island, New York, actually, to give her the best possible treatment. And when they got to those hospitals to give her treatment, they said she would need a fully matched bone marrow donor. Now, when they looked into the family, guess what? There wasn't a match. When they looked into the National Be the Match registry, guess what? There wasn't a match. So the family decided to spend 2 years going to churches, to parks. They were on the subway handing out flyers, asking people to register to become a donor. And now, back in the day, it was a little more difficult. You not only had to fill out a written form, but you actually had to donate a blood sample in order to become a potential match and join the Be the Match registry. Nowadays, it takes 5 minutes to fill out a registration on your phone and a simple 10-second cheek swab to see if you're a match. Well, because of Ikla's story, and because after 2 years of trying to find a match, Ikla lost her battle to leukemia. And her family decided that they can't let this happen to other patients. And as you can see, a quote from Ikla: "When I'm better, I want to start a foundation to help save the lives of all my friends at the hospital." And she always had this dream, this vision that she could make a difference. And ultimately, she has. Every single year, because of her, because of the Ikla de Silva Foundation that was created in her honor, we are able to add 36,000 new donors to the registry, 36,000 potential life-saving matches, right, for patients that are currently searching. And right now, we have close to 14,000 patients that are in desperate need of finding a match, but yet only half of them find matches. So why is that? I know I've spoke about the need for diversity, but why does that matter? When we are looking for perfect peripheral blood stem cell or bone marrow matches, we're not looking for blood typed matches. We're looking for human leukocyte antigen matches, right? That's what we're testing. We're testing these HLA types. And if you can see here, it shows that we need to find perfect 10 out of 10 matches. So we need to find these matches. It's like a needle in the haystack. It really is. I mean, HLA type is very rare. It's very unique to each individual, and it's actually very unique to each person of different race and ethnicity. So the chances of finding a match based on your race and ethnicity is it's dramatically different. I mean, if you are Caucasian, you have a 77% chance of finding a match. Now, ICLA fell into that 46% category where, 2%, two people find a match, two people don't. If you're Black African American, you see it's very low. Only 23% of patients actually find a match on the registry. So my main goal is to create awareness about this need for diversity and of course to make sure that the odds of finding a match for every single patient continues to increase throughout the years, and it has been, but it needs to increase faster. And the only way we can do that is it with your help to not only register, but then of course to create this awareness and ask others to register. Create a conversation around what Be the Match does, what the ICLA de Silva Foundation does. Create a conversation around ICLA, this little girl who was 13 years old that passed away from leukemia that could have still been alive today if there was a match on the registry. And she's not the only one. Like I said, 14,000 patients that are currently in need of a match. We can be their difference. We can be a matter of life or death. And it's a sad reality, but it is a reality for many, many patients. And I know that we can do this together. We really can. But we are facing so many challenges now, right? Not only do we need to increase diversity, but we need to increase how we talk about donating bone marrow, how we talk about donating peripheral blood stem cell. There's a lot of fears and misconceptions about donating, but in reality, there are actually two ways to donate if you become a match. And I know in I mean, how many of you have watched maybe The Good Doctor, 7 Pounds? I think there's also in House, there's a couple episodes where someone's donating bone marrow. They're awake, they have a drill, the lights are flickering on and off. It's a scary process. But the reality is, 80% of the time, you're simply requested to donate peripheral blood stem cell, which is donating directly from the arm. Okay. Yes, the sensation is similar to donating plasma or platelets. They use the machine to separate the cells, and then they give you back your own blood into the other arm. So you're only donating those specific PBSC cells. You're not donating all the other, the whole blood as well. So that's fairly simple process. It is a longer donation process. It actually can take up to 6 hours and sometimes as little as 3 hours, just really depends on the size of the donor and also the size of the patient as well. If it's an infant you're donating to, you would be donating a lot less. So that's why sometimes it could range 3 hours to 6 hours, depending the size of the patient. And in reference to the bone marrow, as you can see, only about 20% of the time doctors are requesting bone marrow. The good thing about donating bone marrow is you are under anesthesia. There is no pain while you're donating, which I think is one of the biggest misconceptions, right? Some people associate it with a spinal tap. bone marrow biopsy. Completely different process, completely different procedure. Bone marrow donation is outpatient procedure. So you go in, right? You're under for probably about 45 minutes to an hour and a half. They only extract 1 to 5% of the marrow cells that you have in the hip area. Okay. So they're not going to have you donate more than you can, more than you need. So you will grow these bone marrow cells back. You will always grow these PBSC stem cells back. And I know one of the biggest questions I get about this is, well, what about after? Right? You say it doesn't hurt during, but I've heard stories. I heard my neighbor down the road. Well, guess what? He said he donated bone marrow, right? And he said it was really painful. Well, so what is that about? So like I said, there's a big difference between bone marrow biopsies, which I think they get very confused for bone marrow biopsies versus a bone marrow donation, right? The bone marrow donation, you can walk out of the hospital the same day. Yes, you feel sore, you feel achy. To put yourself in that situation, imagine you slip and maybe fall, right? You get this achy, sore, feeling. But what do you know? Day two, day three, you feel a lot better. Oh, you could just take some Tylenol and that should solve it as well. So it's not something where you are hospitalized, bedridden, nothing, anything like that. I mean, you could walk around the same day. I've had patients that have, I'm sorry, I have donors that have donated, and the next day, guess what? They are walking around. They are visiting a zoo, right? I mean, I had one gentleman who he shares his story. I think it's pretty interesting how he says that, I actually donated the same day one of the new iPhones came out, and I went and waited in line because I really wanted that new iPhone. So if you're motivated to move around, you 100% can. And I do want to go ahead and share a donor story, Lauren's story. She is a PBSC donor. I share her story because most of our donors, of course, are PBSC donors. So I will go ahead and share her story here.
One of the main reasons I did decide to join the registry is because the lack of African American representation on the registry. It's our responsibility to register because, a lot of times we're given the shorthand in life, period. But this is something that we can control. Just like voting, you could do this. I think I was at happy hour. I got a call about the registry, and I was like, "What?" So I was kind of freaking out because I saw this episode of House, and I saw that episode where the guy had to give bone marrow to his brother, and he was sick too, so he couldn't go under anesthesia. So it was just traumatic. I was like, "Sheesh," but come to find out, there's two different ways to donate. Everyone was like really supportive, and they were like, "Oh, that's so amazing!" Like, so it made me feel even better about my decision.
She's excited, of course, but she's like, okay, what happens now? And from that point, then that's where we begin to order filgrastim, prepare for the injections, and then we just wait for that date to arrive and then first injection.
My Be the Match specialist, Chelsea, gave me my first injections. She taught me how to teach my friend to do it. It hurt a little bit because I was nervous. Shelby was nervous. So, we had a little shakiness going on.
It took us like 20 minutes to like settle down and actually like, okay, we're going to get through this. We had to play some music, get hype. Okay, we can do this. We can get through it.
The injections hurt like a normal shot, but taking off those like super shift band-aids probably was the worst part because I have hair on the back of my arm and I don't know, I just can't rip it off. It's stuff that's kind of like, get over yourself, it's not that big of a deal. So there's really nothing, like I have nothing to complain about. I think she saw the big picture, like she's saving someone's life, and nothing was gonna stop her from saving that kid's life. You know, she made it through anything, band-aids and all. Like, person I'm donating to is a 1-year-old boy. He's probably seen more needles in his life than I ever had. I just don't see how me, a 21-year-old grown woman, could just act so scared when he's so brave. So that's just what I think about, and I just get over it. Think about if it was your child. Think about if it was your sister. Like, don't let fear be the only reason that you don't help someone or save a life.
I mean, I can say a lot for her because I've had donors who came here, did the whole process, and then sent me a text and said I can't do it. So for Lauren to be her full of personality but do what she said she was gonna do, I can respect that and I can handle that.
When you are called and you decide that, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore, that's another like little girl, little boy, grown boy that is heartbroken. Your life is just as important as theirs, and your life isn't the one that's in jeopardy. The only thing that is going to be going on with you is some inconvenience, and that's okay, because that's life. But in the long run, you're helping somebody, and I feel like that should be the most important thing to you. She's gonna save a little boy's life, and I think that's very heartwarming and it's inspiring. Like, she makes me want to go get on the registry, and she's gonna remember this for the rest of her life. I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life. I just want him to know that there is someone out there that looks like him, that it was able and willing to donate their blood stem cells so he could fulfill the life that he was supposed to fulfill. And I just hope that he grows, he eats all his vegetables, he gets all A's, like me. And he's just happy. And I hope one day down the line, I'm able to meet him. I'm able to thank him for making me a better person.
Love that video. I love her story, and I love how she gets a call to donate at happy hour. I mean, what are the chances? And the chances of actually getting a call is only one out of every 430 people that we end up registering get that call to donate. So chances are slim to none, but as you heard in her story and in that video, she wanted to do it. She didn't want to say no when she got that call. And that's why we're really emphasizing the need for commitment from anyone that's registering. Um, we want to educate everyone that has that potential to register. The more you know, the more you can do, right? I think education really is empowerment. And when you're empowered, you can make a difference. You can literally save somebody's life. I mean, this is really an amazing thing. And I hope one day I am able to become a match for someone. I have been on the registry for the 6 years I've been working with the foundation, and I still haven't got a call, but I know I can still match a new patient that comes up. Maybe there's someone tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe in 5 years. But if I'm on the registry, at least I'm giving that person that I might match in the future, I'm giving them a chance of actually having a match on the registry. So, I always tell people, like, if you're hesitant to register, you're scared, well, just think about that moment of actually donating and knowing that these cells that you're donating could cure a disease like leukemia, can cure a disease like lymphoma or sickle cell. Because by giving them your healthy PBSC or bone marrow cells, you're helping their body to create those cells as their own. And that's why we need perfect matches, right? We want to trick their body into thinking, hey, these are my white cells, these are my red blood cells, these are my platelets. And once their body starts to think of these cells as their own, they will start to be healthy once again and completely, wipe out that leukemia in their body. Which brings me to, of course, the my favorite step of the presentation today, how to join, right? Not only for you, but if you are interested in getting involved and helping others to join, these 3 steps to save a life, if you keep these in mind, you can always explain this to others. So the first step is to, of course, sign up. So right now, anyone that's interested in registering, what you could do is just pull out your phone and go to text messages and type in that number 61474 and text the message PB through, right? Project Breakthrough. So PB through as one word. If you're on your laptop, feel free to go directly to the website, but please make sure that you are typing in the whole join.bethematch.org/PB through. It's really important for us to know, how are people hearing about this? How do people end up registering? So anyone that registers, we know it's because of this presentation, or it's because you spread the word to a family member after this presentation and you shared that PB through text to join. So sign up, you can text to join or go directly to the site. You do have to be between 18 and 44 to join for free. 18 to 44, the reason why we have that, it might seem like an odd range. Well, doctors request donors between 18 to 44 most of the time. We have seen that those cells of an 18 to 44-year-old are the best cells to give our patients the best chance, right? So younger cells just help and start to work in a patient's body faster. So you would sign up. That's all you would be doing today. Then what would happen is you would get a swab kit in the mail, and this cheek swab kit, you have 2 swabs to swab your right cheek, swab your left cheek. That's all we need in order to test your HLA type to a patient, right? So in this database, we have a list of patients, list of donors, and we're constantly connecting and matching up all of the new patients, all the new donors to see if we can find more matches as well. So sign up, swab, and then of course, stay committed to save a life. So of course, if you do match, you would donate peripheral blood stem cells or the marrow cells. But majority of the time it is just those PBSC cells.
Oh, Lauren,
Yeah,
I
of
just want
course.
to let you know, I just finished signing up. For anybody
Yay.
watching this, it only takes like 2 seconds.
It
So
was fast, right?
yeah, it was really fast.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad that I mean, you did it while I was talking with you. So I know I had the link in the very beginning as well. So yeah, I'm glad that you were able to get through it without a problem. I mean, we do try to make it as easy as possible, the least amount of information that we need, so we don't take up too much of someone's time. And it's easier for you to share, right? So if you're in a conversation with someone on a train, I mean, maybe not so much with COVID, but I mean, I used to talk about this with people on the train, and I would get them to register, on our train ride or on our bus ride, whatever it was. And this is a message that is easy to share. I mean, you could even take a picture of this and post it on social media. I mean, imagine the outreach each of us has collectively together, right? I mean, probably hundreds of people. And out of hundreds of people, I'm sure we'll get a few to register as well. So how to join the registry, 3 simple steps: sign up, swab, and stay committed to save a life. And aside from that, of course, I think many of you have seen the postings. We have volunteer opportunities available. So our current volunteer opportunities, of course, are to um, register yourself and, of course, to register others. But the list that you see here we have so many different options because it is virtual. And I know all of you have different strengths and different interests of how you would like to get involved. So you can really focus in on registering. You can really focus on outreach too. I left this blank because I want to have a conversation about this. I think it's really important for us to actually start that conversation of who can we reach out to. So if you would like to unmute yourself, I would love to hear some of your ideas right now of outreach to who. I will be filling in the blank and sending this out once we have this conversation. So anyone that wants to jump on in, go ahead.
Let's see, I'll start. So I think I know myself and Ali are in medical school, and there's a lot of highly motivated people who want to save lives. So I think they'd be very interested in, especially considering how easy it was to sign up and get the kit and everything. It definitely fits within a busy medical student's schedule. So I think that's my suggestion.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing I do want to share, especially if you will be sharing this with, some med students, if someone does match and you're currently in the middle of your program and you feel like you have no time to donate, we do work around your schedule. So if you do become a match, it's not something that you donate right away, right? You get free blood tests, you receive free physicals, and then we figure out a date that works for you to go in to donate. And we typically say, okay, well, make sure that you give yourself at least a day after to not rush back to work just to rest. Even if it is the PBSC, you do feel very tired the next day. So we always say, okay, let's look at your schedule. When are your, next 2 days that you have to be able to actually come in to donate. If anyone is ever worried about even taking a day off of work, we reimburse for that. Travel, that's all covered. Meals, someone to go with you, everything for them would be covered as well. Let's say the hospital you're donating at is further than an hour away. We don't want you to drive home. We don't want you to stay at the hospital. We will pay for a hotel for that night so you can rest, relax. You helped us save a life. You deserve to relax before you go and rush on home. So we want to make sure that everyone feels like they can say yes, right? Like I was saying, I think a lot of people that register are committed, but they don't realize how flexible we can be with someone's schedule and how flexible we can be to assist them in any way. Whether, like I said, it is giving reimbursement for time off, helping with babysitters, dog sitters, whatever it is, you name it, we want to make sure that we can help. And that's why we do all the fundraising we do, is to really be able to assist with donors and then of course the patient side as well. So I love that, Nathan. I love the idea of reaching out to fellow students in med schools. I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah, I kind of was going to go with what Nathan said, but I think what's really interesting about the whole thing is, like you're saying, it doesn't take a lot of time. I guess even the chances of being called are a little bit low. So really, this could be something that goes out to outreach to pretty much like anyone. Really, it doesn't seem like something that could. It's not going to take too much out of someone's day. So like medical students or undergraduate students, not even healthcare related ones, just pretty much anybody who wants to get involved. Like nurses. There's so many different type of healthcare workers. I imagine with something like this that's so easy to do, and the chances of being called, I guess, like multiple times or even once is so low. I imagine outreach could include anybody.
Yeah, that's a great point. It really, I mean, cancer affects everyone. It doesn't matter what age you are, what your race is, what your religion is. It doesn't matter where you live. It affects everyone. And on the same time, anyone has that potential to save a life, right? So I love that. Thank you. Yeah, for definitely bringing that up. Um, so as each of you are volunteering your time to help us do outreach, if that's, you know, one of the ways you would like to get involved, this is not something that has to be put into a box. I really like that.
So thank you so much for the presentation. I really like enjoyed every time like listening to it. It just like brings it even more like the need of why we're doing this in the first place and helping to save lives. One thing I am probably able to add is like talking to Greek organizations. I feel like that could be a benefit, especially in maybe working along those lines to see if we could like, you know, ask people to like be a part of it. And it would be a great way for people to really like get involved with this.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, thank you so much, Megana. I love that you're the one that brought me here in the first place, right? Um, yeah, and I think Greek organizations, they really do have a very large outreach as well, right? Some of these chapters, they could be connected even nationally and or internationally in some cases as well, but at least nationally to reach out to their brothers or sisters, whatever fraternity sorority they're in. And you know, I think we keep saying it, hey, how easy it is to actually register. It's just a matter of um, putting that information out there in front of them to get them to understand, hey, it's really easy to register and you could be really saving somebody's life in the long run too, right? Yeah, that's a great idea.
Anyone else have any suggestions?
If not, that's okay. You can always
Uh,
brainstorm. Oh, we have another.
I think building off what like Magna said, you might even want to ask like athletes at school because I mean, at least when I went to school in Buffalo, and a lot of the students there, a lot of the athletes there like weren't white, and we're trying to get to different races and stuff. So totally a lot of African American, Spanish, and it's just a whole big diversity we can branch out into there as well.
That's a really good idea. I have done drives, actually majority with football teams. There's someone, Coach Talley, he was a Villanova head coach and he started a get in the game program for some of the football players there that's
Nice.
slowly expanded, but I, I I think that's a really great point is to always keep in mind that student athletes or just athletes in general, majority of them are healthy enough to do it
Yeah,
and
exactly.
very mixed and diverse. I love that.
Especially during like off season. At least I know with
Off
like
season.
the football players, we would throw like blood drives and stuff. So, I mean, you guys might want to look into that too, like soccer, baseball, all that.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you guys. Like I said, I'm taking notes and I will be adding to this blank outreach too. So thank you for completing this sentence for me. I do really appreciate that. So of course, registering is one way to get involved. And of course, outreach to all these organizations that we've been talking about, all these individuals or groups of people that we can reach out to through whether maybe it's social media, right? Doing live drives, pairing up with blood drives with maybe an athletic team, networking and building these relationships with these different uh, pre-med groups or Greek organizations, the different, you know, football teams, soccer teams. These are all different ways that you can gain community service hours. So the way that we have our, I would say, point system, you can see each introduction with an organization or president or decision maker or head football coach or anything else moving forward would be an hour of service for helping to make that connection and introduction and scheduling a presentation to actually get folks to register. It doesn't have to be as meaty and lengthy as this, but just a presentation where we can ask folks to register. So that could be a 2 hours of service, right? So the way that some of the other point systems work are really just based off of our events and fundraising you can see here. But I really did want to share this, all these options with you so you can decide what ways you want to get involved. And I know getting involved, depending what you're doing, you will always be building these community service hours to, of course, add to a resume, add to a portfolio, but you're gaining leadership skills because, especially now more than ever, with everything being virtual, I am asking you to take on the lead to help reach out. So you'll gain those communication skills, marketing skills, if you personally would like to lead the conversation, right, when you're reaching out to just friends and family members, or if you want to host your own presentation for a group of individuals, I encourage that because you get to gain so much experience. I will always try to attend and help every step of the way and answer any questions that you have moving forward. We do have potential for book scholarships and grants. That is typically when you're working directly with a administrator or professor of a school, though. So we don't necessarily have them an individual level, but that's something that we can talk about. And in general, just professional development. And additionally, a certificate of completion for your hours is also something that we can provide. Letters of recommendation, which is not on here, we can also provide. You will be working directly with me, so I would be the one, writing those for you. I'm more than happy to write those for you. Of course, as you're working with us over the next couple months or years, when whatever works best for you. And ultimately, you gain the power to save lives by volunteering with Be the Match and the Icolus Silva Foundation. So moving forward, how to become a volunteer, how to get involved. I would like anyone that is interested to follow along right now to express interest in one of our opportunities. So we do have 3 levels that are listed on this Be the Match volunteer site right now. This is actually our brand new site. We finally launched this just a few weeks ago now. It's something we've been really working hard on doing, especially with all the virtual volunteers we've had. So this is a new site for you guys, but once you go to bethematchvolunteer.org, you'll be able to find an opportunity. Now, I do want you to search New Jersey, so you can see the listings that I have posted. So you will be working directly with me. You'll see that, oh, what did I do? So you'll be able to see the top 3. So we have 3 different levels, if you will: a volunteer ambassador / intern, a general volunteer, and a virtual ambassador. Uh, Feel free to check these out, read the descriptions a little bit more, and figure out what is the best fit for you. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more laid back, not as structured, something that you can come and go, I would suggest selecting just general volunteer, Be the Match volunteer. If you're looking to get involved strictly virtually, right? You don't want to do any in-person events, make sure you're doing Be the Match virtual ambassador. And if you're looking to get involved maybe a little bit more, you want to dive in not only virtually, but also attend some live events as well. And you're thinking that maybe this is something that you want to continue for a longer period of time, go ahead and click Volunteer Ambassador Intern. Now, I do want to say that if you are clicking any of these 3, you can always change. as time goes on, right? So if you start as just a volunteer or a virtual ambassador, you can always increase your hours. Vice versa, you can always decrease as well. I'm very flexible. I understand schedules change. So if there's a week or a month or 2 months that you can't be actively sharing the information and brainstorming with me, that's okay. I completely understand. Okay, so please feel free to go ahead. I'll click the sample, be the match virtual ambassador. Take a look at the description. My contact information is on each of these, but I do need you to either email me directly and or click express interest, which will send me an alert that you are interested. Of course, you express interest, you will have to put in your contact information in order for me to know exactly who it is that's expressing interest. So please feel free to just shoot me an email, shoot me a text too. I'm happy to reply to a text or express interest. So I did want to leave the last couple of minutes to answer any questions that anyone might have. I did also want to share with you, this is the completed screen. So everyone that's registering today, you should see this screen at the very end. If you don't see this screen, that means that you didn't complete it fully, okay? So I will open it up for questions.
I was curious, how long ago was that video taken? The one we watched.
Lauren's donation story.
Mhm.
So she actually donated, it was 2018 when she donated. Yeah, so the video is a little old, but I mean, she still continues to help promote and share awareness. I mean, the issues that she went over in that video are still, unfortunately, just as relevant now that it's almost 2021. So yeah, 2018 was when that video was taken.
So that baby's about 3-4 years old now.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing good. And I actually don't think they ever got an opportunity to meet, unfortunately, but I know they exchanged just letters back and forth, but never got the official opportunity to meet in person yet. I mean, it could still come. He's still young, but yeah, I think that's another. You made me think of, wow, yeah, sometimes you get to actually meet the person that you donate to as well.
Cool.
If you don't feel like unmuting yourself, feel free to put something in the chat.
Do you guys ever do like strategic alliances with other nonprofits?
So yes, we do, definitely. I'm thinking you might have something in mind, do you?
Yeah, I'll just personally reach out to you through your email later on, but I just wanted to see before wasting your time. You know what I mean?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much. Yes, we definitely do. I'm open for all ideas, and I know with the resources that we do have, I'm sure we can make something work.
Great, sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And
I think we have one in the chat.
so Lauren said, thank you for the presentation. You're welcome. Oh, you just received your card. I'm so excited. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, hold on to that card. It definitely comes in handy when and if you get that call. I still have mine. I have, unfortunately, that I broke it a little bit, but I taped it together, but I still have it in my wallet at all times. It's under my license, just in case. I'm hopeful I'll get that call. I'm so glad that you were able to get your call. Lauren, did you register online aside from Project BreakThru, or when you learned about it through Project BreakThru? separately a few months back. Great. Well, I'm glad you did. So no other questions?
We had one question. I don't see the person here who submitted it,
Mhm.
but they were curious about, especially in the COVID environment, if any of these volunteering roles can be done remotely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So majority are done remotely. Of course, if there are any in-person live drives where, for example, yesterday I paired up with the American Red Cross. They had the blood drive in one room. I was right in a separate room. So we partnered together to create, publicity for the blood drive and bone marrow drive. And we were right there on site registering people and swabbing. Of course, we follow all necessary guidelines as well. And I provide all gloves, masks, any equipment needed for volunteers to volunteer at any drives as well. But yes, most of our opportunities right now are virtual.
Cool. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm glad that you brought that up. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate all of your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much for setting this up too, Nathan and Ali. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's our pleasure. We're really, really happy to have you here. And we hope we can get a bunch of volunteers because it's such a needed thing. And it's not, and I feel like, just like you said, it's really misunderstood. People assume bone marrow donation means, oh, they're going to drill into my bones and it's going to be this big ordeal. And I think that is tragically preventing people from saving lives, the misunderstanding.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think if people really understood, and you did such a great job presenting it, like I learned a lot from this presentation about the whole process.
Oh, good.
People,
Thank you.
they really understood. I think people would really be jumping at the opportunity to sign up.
I do too. I do too. So thank you. I appreciate that for sure. So
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for doing the whole presentation. Like echoing what Nathan said, even like going through med school, like we kind of know how, like these are different options, but I never really knew as like as in depth like kind of what you walked through, and kind of learning more about it makes it a lot easier for us to even talk to other people and even recommend it, because it really is a lot less intimidating than people might think it is from the get-go. So I really appreciate you breaking it down for us and helping us understand it.
of course.
I was also thinking, I really wish I had known about this as a pre-med, because this is like an ideal opportunity to get involved, to volunteer, to help save lives. And it really would have helped my CV too when I was applying to med school.
Yeah, no, and I mean, right now being virtual, it's a relatively easy opportunity because the hours are flexible. I mean, if you work your best at 12, midnight, go for it. Even if our drives are from 10 to 3, you don't have to be there in person in order to register more people and save lives. You can do it from the comfort of your couch. You could do it while you're going on a walk, on a hike. I mean, it really is something that's pretty easy to build up those hours, but then also to get that experience of explaining the information as well. I think that's a really important aspect as well.
You know what? I do have another question. Is Be the Match recommending people are symptom free before they start swabbing their mouths, before they send in samples of potentially like viruses?
Yes. So, of course, if you do have any symptoms, please don't swab. I mean, order your swab kit. You'll get it in the mail, and then as soon as you are, when you get your test results back, if that's the case, as long as they're negative, you can swab, or wait that 14-day period from after your symptoms subside. Then yes, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, we're very careful, knowing that some people might not even realize this. So we are very careful when testing the swabs. But yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Um, well, I know from Project Breakthrough, we wanted to really thank you, thank Be the Match for doing this today. We know our pre-meds are really, really interested in this topic. I think everybody who is interested in medicine, no matter what your reason is, the common thread is that you want to help people, you want to work with people, you want to help people. And this is a really, really solid and reachable and achievable and something they could do something they could do immediately to help
Right.
people. That doesn't take 4 years of medical school plus residency, and you could get started on. I did my registration in like 5 minutes. It was like that.
Yeah.
So thank you for presenting that for us today.
Of course.
Now we're going to take this and we've recorded this whole lecture. So if anybody watching today, or if you find this later, you can watch it later. We'll have it uploaded, and we'll have a link added today with the Project Breakthrough Be the Match registration right on our website. And so you can click that and it'll take you right there.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and I
Pleasure.
mean, if this is being recorded, it's something that you can watch again. If you forget the information, and you're like, oh wait, what? How do I talk about this? How should I share this information? You can always go back, check it out, and share it with friends and family.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time and for everything moving forward as well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Cool.